Hey everybody, it's Jason with the Boardgame Mechanics, and today we're going to take a look at a game called Rescuing Robin Hood. Rescuing Robin Hood is a cooperative deck building game from Castillo Games. Plays 1 to 5 players, about 20 minutes per player, which seems pretty accurate. And what you're doing in this game is you are taking on the role of a merry band of villagers, you know, like Robin Hood and his merry men. And you're going to be using your cards to defeat the sheriff's guards to rescue some villagers. You're trying to get as many villagers on your team as you can, rescue as many as you can, because everyone that you can't rescue makes the sheriff stronger, makes it harder to rescue Robin Hood, because the goal of the game is rescuing Robin Hood. So after a certain amount of days, you're going to try to storm the castle and get Robin Hood out of his shackles. So that's effectively it. Cooperative. So we're going to be playing this together. So let's just go down to the table. Check it out. All right, so here's a game of Rescuing Robin Hood, all set up for 2 players. I already have the first day set up, so I'll kind of go over the basic setup and then what happens on the first day. So every time you're going to play the game, you're going to give each player a little stat tracker, 2 of each color cubes. You're going to give them a band leader. They'll take 2, pick the one they want. So in this case, this player's picked Little John, that player's picked Maid Marion. I like calling her Marion because it's funny. Let's see. Then we're going to give each player 8 villagers that do not have an emblem on the top. That's how you know they're starting cards. And then we're going to shuffle them and flip 4, which I've already done here. We'll get back to that. We'll put the major oak here, put the Sherwood Forest off to the side. All the tokens can be off to the side as well. You're going to shuffle the red guard deck and the blue guard deck. And then you're going to put out Robin Hood on the cuff side, the Nottingham Castle, Sheriff of Nottingham, and you're going to pick a setup card for day 1 and 2, day 3 and 4, and day 5 based on the number of players. So I've already done that. Then once all that's done, then what you're going to do is, according to the setup, you're going to deal out the battle area, which I've done. So we're going to do 1 bronze villager and 3 guards. The last guard is always face up. There's a little more to it. And this one, and I'll get to that. This one's going to have 5 guards and a silver villager. This one has 8 blue guards and a golden villager. Now, this year, or this day, we're also going to add some stealth to our band leader, which I'll get to. And an additional guard will be face up. So I've done that with this guard right here. So we're going to have a little more information on what's going on. Now, to finish setup for the players, you're going to add up your stats. Each band leader has a stat that they come with most of the time. So this one, Little John, is strong, so he has 6 brawn. So I adjust the setting 6 brawn plus every other brawn on all 4 of my other cards, which I've done. They're going to do the same thing. They have wit. Then you're going to add up all of the stats across all your cards and your band leaders, and that's where we'll be. So in this case, Little John's team is not super witty. They're only at 2 right now. They're not very stealthy. They're pretty strong. They're at 18 strength, and they have a little bit of jolliness. And then that player is smart. They're kind of stealthy, not very strong, and not very jolly. Then you're going to give somebody the first player, and any cards that would have a token listed here, prayer, scouting, or cookery, you would get those tokens. And the tokens are going to help you throughout the game. They're on the back of the card. Each player will also get one of these cards, but I just had them both sitting here. And we'll get to those tokens when we want to use them. All right, so now let's go ahead and get started. So on your turn, whoever's the first player, you're going to do 2 attacks. The goal of the game is you're trying to defeat all the guards to rescue the villagers. And you're going to do this over 4 days. And on the 5th day, you have to storm the castle and rescue Robin Hood to win. And if you have enough gusto or attack left, you can try to fight the sheriff for a complete win. But just defeating the castle and saving Robin Hood wins the game. This is a cooperative game. So on your turn, I need to make 2 attacks. The attacks are such here. Wit. Wit is going to be like a push your luck attack. So I have 2 wit. So what that would mean to me is, if I look at this card, it has 2 wit attack here. For my 2 wit, I can defeat that card. But that's not very good, because on an attack, you want to defeat as many cards as you can. Now, if I had 12 wit, I could defeat this card and then decide if I want to go to the next one. Flip it. If I still have wit left, I can keep flipping. But if at any point I flip cards and I have more card wit power than my wit power, I bust. All the cards stay face up and I didn't accomplish any. Stealth, I'm going to pick cards in one of the sections and attack them. They can either be face up or face down. So I could say, you know, with my 6 wit or my 6 stealth, I want to attack all 3 of these cards. I'd take it, flip them all over. If it's 6 or less, I win. If not, I lose. They stay there face up. I didn't win. Brawn is a little bit different. You're going to attack every card in the row, no matter what. So like if I wanted to do this with my 18 brawn, I'd say, hey, I'm going to attack these. Then I'd add up all the brawn on these and all the flip down cards. If it's 18 or less, I win. If it's 19, I lose, but all the cards are face up. And I reset down to 0. Now jolliness adds to one of my other stats before an attack. And you can adjust that before each attack. So there's always a planning phase before you get into all that. So let's go ahead and start. I don't have any tokens, so I'm not going to go over that right now. But you can share tokens on anybody's turn. So Maid Marian, she could send it. She could use her token for me, vice versa, if I had some. All right, so I think what I want to do is I want to try to whittle down. I don't have a lot of stealth, but let's see. I think I want to do, it's still terrible. I know there's more than 18. All right, so I'm going to use all of my Jolly 5, and then I'll go 19, 20, 21, 22, 23, 20, 23. So I'm at 23 brawn right now. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to try to take out all of these cards in a second. First thing I want to do is I want to use some of my stealth and try to bang out a couple cards. So let's do, I have 6 stealth. So let's do this one and this one. Sweet, so we got 6 stealth. So they are defeated. So they just go to a discard pile. And then this comes down. And then for my second attack, I'm going to try to do brawn on the rest of them. So I have 23. So let's add them all up and see what happens. 4, 9, 10, 16, 18, 21. Sweet. So I'm down to 2, but I did defeat them all. And we have rescued the Golden Villager. When they're rescued, they go to the Mighty Oak, I think is what it's called, or the Big Oak. What is it called? I forget already. The Major Oak. And we'll be drafting them later, so we'll get back to that. All right, so that's my turn. At the end of your turn, any jolliness and brawn that you have left go to the next player. So in this case, they're going to get 2 more brawn, which is not great. And then every other stat that I have just goes away. All right, so now they're going to try to do the same thing. They get 2 attacks. They also have a prayer. Now, 1 prayer token can move 1 guard from 1 stack to another. 2 prayer tokens will just defeat the guard, like you're converting the guard. He's done with his life as a criminal and he's going to go join the monks or whatever. But we only have 1. If you don't use it, you lose it. So let's do... All right, first thing what we're going to do is they're going to spend... Ooh, that's tough. They're going to do stealth on all 3 of these cards. So their stealth is 9. So they're at 3, 7. 7 stealth. So we'll go down to 2. All right, so all these are defeated because they had 7, they had 9. I had 9. Those cards were 7, so they're defeated. The bronze is now rescued. All right, so now we're into some tricky territory here. This is tricky. This is tricky. I have 1 more attack. I don't want to do... I can't defeat them all, I don't think. Let's try. So we're going to bump this up 2. We'll go up to 9. And then we're going to use brawn and see what happens. I'm not going to win that. But that's fine. That's what we got to do. That's our best. Oh, no, I have... Wait a minute. I'll do this 2 because I have 16 of that. So let's just do them all. 3, 6, 8, 13, 15. Sweet. We banged it out with one left. So we rescued the last villager because there was 15 wit. I had 16 wit. We are good. So we are done. All right, so then what happens? Everything gets reset back to 0. At the end of the day, based on the first player, whoever's the first player, gets first dibs at one of these cards. You can pass and then go to the other player, but we're going to keep going until all these cards have been taken. So let's see. My guy is good at brawn, so I'm going to take this one. 10 brawn. Shoot, that's amazing. All right, and then they're good at wit, so let's take this one for jolly, and then I'll take this one. All right, then what you're going to do is you're going to discard the cards that you played and the newly acquired cards. You're going to bring out your new 4 cards. First player passes. So they're going to get a scouting token. Scouting tokens let you flip 2 face down guards in a row, so you can get a little bit. They didn't use this one, so that goes away. And the cookery is going to add some attributes to one of your attributes, and it's the only one that you can keep over, but it becomes a little weaker. It becomes mead. Then it'll add an extra jolliness to something if you want to. Okay, so they got their cards. Now they're going to get their cards. A cookery, 2 cookery, and a prayer. So 2 cookeries and a prayer. Okay, then we're going to add up the strength here. So we're going to get 3 stealth for our band leader. He has 6 brawn. Then we'll get 4, 6, 8 more stealth, so that's 11. We'll get 1, 4, 8 books, 8 wit. Hey, we're not as dumb this time. 2, 3, 4. Oh, we already did brawn. No, nope. 4 more brawn. So that's 10 brawn. And we have 1 jolly. All right, then they're going to do the same thing. So they have 6, 7, 8, 10 wit. We're also going to add 3 stealth. So 3, 5, 6, 7 stealth. And then we have 3, 4, 7 brawn and 2 jolly. All right, then we're going to reset up the board accordingly. So we got 3 of these. Whoops, just flipped the last one. So we got 3. We'll have 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Flip this one. And then we will have 8, and I can flip an extra one, and I'll do the 4th one in this one. 6, 7, 8. So we'll flip 1, 2, 3, 4, and this one. So we're going to know more in the 8 row this time, because that seems to be the smartest option. So we have 3, 5, and 8. All right, and then they will get bronze, silver, and gold. Not great, not as good a setup this time. All right, and then we're just going to play through again. Same thing as before. They'll go first. You can use tokens and all that kind of thing. Then at the end of the day too, we're going to discard all of our cards. We're going to take all the cards that we have in our hand, and we're going to get down to 8 cards. So we're going to have, like, 12, 13, 14 cards, and we're going to pick 8 that we want to use for days 3 and 4. Then after we play day 3 and 4, we'll switch the cards. We'll have new powers, maybe different set of layout of guards. And then day 5, we're going to have to storm the castle. And of all the cards that we have from that round, we're going to pick 4. That's going to be our dream team. And we're going to still take 2 actions to try to defeat the castle and get Robin Hood. If you defeat the castle, you get 1 for all the cards that have been sent to Sherwood. Because when you empty, like say I discarded these guys and I didn't want to use them anymore, they'll go to Sherwood. You're going to up some of your attributes for every 3 cards that's in Sherwood Forest, which is good. And any villagers that we don't rescue will actually make the sheriff stronger, making it harder to win our bonus task. And that's effectively how you play Rescuing Robin Hood. Let's go up the top, see what we think about it. All right, well, that was Rescuing Robin Hood. So let's talk about some of the art in this game, because I think the art is awesome. So these are the villagers. Every villager is different. I'll show you some of the different cards that we didn't get to see. They all have interesting little punny names, which I didn't go into because I don't It doesn't matter that much, but they're all cool. So all those are just neat art. The guards, I don't like them as much, but because they're not all different, because they're just marksmen and swordsmen. So here's the marksman, here's the swordsman. So these are the two types of guards in the blue color. Red's the same, but they have stronger stats. I didn't go into that, but the blue deck, the highest stat is 6. The red deck, the highest stat can be an 8, which is a little more brutal. So it makes it a little bit more difficult as the days progress. But the first 2 days, you're just kind of easing into it. I like the leaders. So everybody has kind of a different player ability. Like I showed you, Little John is here. He's just really strong and not so smart. We have Lady Christabel. She's going to give you a little bit of she's going to give you a stat and then a little bit of official power. Will Scarlet's going to come with a scouting token, which is pretty awesome. Got to have the Bard. There's always a Bard. Maud Lindsay. Is that her name? Yeah, Lindsay. She comes with 2 tokens, which is pretty awesome. The Miller's son. He's going to let you swap some villagers between each other, which is pretty neat. Friar Tuck. He's jolly and prayerful. So just cool. I like all the art. The card quality is nice. I don't particularly love the player board. The cubes kind of slide around. It's just thin cardboard. Dual player would be nice, but I guess you're trying to keep the cost down. But the back's pretty neat. It has the castle on there. The major oak, not necessary, but it looks nice. So all the art and production is nice outside of this. I don't love this. There's also, which is pretty neat, that wasn't necessary, a character guide. It gives you basically background of all the villagers in the game, which I think is completely amazing. I didn't read through it because I don't care about theme, but for those of you that like theme, that's a nice touch. The rule book is pretty clear. There was one thing that I struggled with the Sheriff of Nottingham. He says on his card that the villagers add to his strength, but it's not in the rule book. And I was reading through the rule book and asked some questions, and I looked at the card and it was on there. So I would like to be in the rule book, but that's just a minor point. So yeah, this is a fun game. The deck building is interesting because you're really only ever using 8 or 4 cards. So you're acquiring these cards basically just to have more options to pick from in the future days, which is an interesting take where you're not shuffling and then dealing random and getting what you get. You can actually kind of prepare what you want, work with the stats that you have the most of, kind of go that route, which is pretty cool. So yeah, the cooperative, you're not really doing a ton on other people's turns. Like you can maybe say, hey, let's go here because I can give you this token, but I have my own stats, you have your own stats. So there's not really like an alpha player like, hey, let's just do this. You can just do your own thing. And I like that. So that is Rescuing Robin Hood from Castillo Games. I'm Jason with the Board Game Mechanics. And as always, keep gaming.